Some people have come to me and said, yeah, he says, I just kind of rolled my eyes when Bishop said he was going to bring Reverend Ike here. He said, but I've been pleasantly surprised. And so I said to him, I said, well, remember this. People are down on whatever they're not up on. What did I say? People are down on whatever they're not up on. Now you should remember that. And I will guarantee you that most of the people that's down on somebody are down on something, it's because they're not up on it. And many times people don't want to take the time or the effort or the expense to get up on what something or someone is about. And so they just be down on them. But it doesn't bother me, you see, because I know what I'm about. I know what I'm about. Say that. And you see, when you are secure in your own self-identity, you're like Gene Autry used to be back in the 40s, long before any of you were born. Gene Autry used to sing the old song, I don't worry, 'cause it makes no difference now. All right. That Bishop Jordan got me going again. And I do want to thank Bishop Lee for daring to have me here. And you see, because I'm doing all this talking, he thinks that he's the only one learning, but I'm learning from him and his wife and his staff and you, because there's one thing in my life that I've always been, an observer. Monkey see, monkey do, but there's a very important thing. Monkey knows what not to do too. Basically, two things you learn in life. You learn what to do and what not to do. And many times, it's better maybe even to know what not to do, because that will save you until you can learn what to do. And I've watched preachers, and I've watched colored people, and I've watched poor people. And there was some I said, oh, ain't gonna do that. Come on, let me hear you say it. Ain't gonna do that. And I'm not going to call any names, but I've personally known preachers, some who, while they ministered, powerful men of God, millions and millions of dollars passed through their hands personally, through their churches that they pastored, and through denominations that they founded. And when they passed on, neither their wife, their family, their children, local church, nor their denomination knew what happened to the money. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. I said, that won't happen to me. So I'll tell you a true joke here in the time I'm allotted. When I first got married at age 28, up to that time I'd been a footloose evangelist, and the churches that I had preached for and so on and so forth, they were always glad to give me room and board and feed me well and treat me well and all of that. And I didn't have any debts. So I was doing all right. I was prospering on that level. But then when I got married, I realized that I had a different responsibility. Now, I don't think that men are better than women, but I'm still somewhat chauvinistic. I still believe that as a man, I am the patriarch in my family. And I believe that as such, I have the responsibility for the spiritual, mental, physical, and financial welfare of my wife and my family. And I'm going to give you a term now that maybe you haven't heard too much about, and I'll have somebody write it on the board and have you write it down. A term. I believe that I have the responsibility to create and pass on transgenerational wealth. Now, they don't tell y'all these things. Let me hear you say transgenerational wealth. Hyphenate between generational and wealth. And I've got Bible for that, and some of you good Bible students can look it up in your concordance. It says that a good man leaves an inheritance for his family. You see, before you leave this world, you ought to control transgenerational wealth. You ought to create transgenerational wealth. Just like old man John D. Rockefeller. You see, I studied them too. I'm a student of people. I even study the fool. I heard the bishop talking about it. You see, because from the fool you learn what not to do. Tell the person next to you, from the fool you learn what not to do. Just like the saying that I picked up a couple of years ago, it says, watch the poor people, see what they do, and then don't do it. They don't come to seminars. Nobody who has been in this seminar and heard this word will be able to resist greater success and prosperity. All these blessings shall come upon you and overtake you, overtake you, overtake you, overtake you. Oh, you need to read that book again and see how God blesses. And he tells us that if we will observe certain principles and laws, that all these blessings shall come upon you. You won't have to be praying for them anymore. They'll just come upon you and overtake you. And as I said before, your one last complaint will be, my cup runneth over. And you're not where you're supposed to be in God until you get to the point where you say, your cup is running over. Your only problem should be that you have too much. Say that to everybody around you. Your only problem should be that you have too much. Uh-huh. I think one of the tapes down here is titled How to Have Surplus Instead of Shortage. And by the way, these tapes are on sale only tonight. Tonight only. At midnight, they go back up. So don't mess around like Wilson Pickett and wait till the midnight hour. Because the price ain't going to come tumbling down. The price is going to go back up. If you don't have surplus, you don't have what God wants you to have. In another place where Jesus stated his mission promise, he said, I am come. Are you catching I am now? That you. Uh-oh, you see what the theologians have done? I am come that you. The theologians tell us that Jesus came to show us who Jesus is. But I discovered I had to go back to the New Testament and listen to Jesus for myself without the interference of the theologians. And listen to it. I am come that you. Now, the theologians are focusing on me, but I am focusing on you. The theologians are going to make a doctrine out of me. Yeah. And they're going to have you focusing on Christology and theology and sometimes even diabology. En el nombre de Jesucristo, amén. But that's not why I am come. I am come that you might have life, and that you might have it how? More